right, folks, welcome to section 2.3, graphs for quantitative data. Here we're going to do is just one more example with a stem plot. This one says here that we have the data in distances in kilometers from home to a local supermarket. Create a stem plot, and you notice that all these values are also in order for our convenience there, but then they also represent one place to the right of the decimal. Even if they're whole numbers there, at 4.0 kilometers is represented 4.0. Does the data, let me English here, does the data seem to have any concentration of values? And we'll talk about that if there's any gaps there. Leads to the right, for the decimal there, the rightmost again. So we have like, and a reason for that too is look at the span here between those two numbers, 6.7 to 12.3 kilometers from home to that local supermarket there. So we got to have quite the line here as our dividing point. Let's see if maybe that's enough there. Okay, great. Let's go for it here for our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I got to keep going because we want to have a gap there. 7, 8, 9, 10, a little sloppy, 11, and 12 kilometers there. Okay, great, done. So there are, let me space this out probably a little bit better, maybe not even bother to do that. Let me do this, just correct this. Class, okay, there we go. All right, done and done here. Let me just make that. There it is. Okay. Now for the ones here, let's stack those up. We got 1.1 and another one value 1.5. So the interpretation of these values here, even though it wouldn't look like the 11, but knowing that one place to the right of the decimal, this would interpret as 1.1 and 1.5. I think it's a little out of touch to put the dot. I wouldn't put the dot there. Don't do that. I didn't even see, like, even the answer key didn't even do that. So don't put the dots there, but we do know that the right place the decimal there in the tens place for those values. The important thing is to stack it up and then see kind of the distribution shape once we're done with this. All right, next one is 2.3 kilometers. 2.3 there. Let me go get that stacked up in there. So there's a 2.3. Next one, 2.5. 2.5 in there, 2.7. That's, now we're done with the twos, the 2 pointers there, the kilometers. Next one for the 3 pointers. Let's see, we got, let's see, this whole group there. 3.2, 3.3, 3.3, 3.5, and 3.8. Done. Now 4.0 there. Nice. 4.0 kilometers. 4.2, couple of 4.5s. Nicely putting that in order there. Let's see. We got the 2 5.5s, and then 4.5s, 4.7, 4.8. Done with a 4 kilometers here. 5.5 and 5.6. Okay, done. And last here we got for 6 kilometers there is 6.7 and no, let me go back here. 6.5, then 6.7 kilometers. Okay, done. Then the last one down here. Now looking at this one, way at the bottom, we're going to have that 12.3. And it's important here to have that gap. So right here at the bottom is the 3 there. And yes, that is our stem plot. We have to have the gap here. So again, if we look at this counterclockwise, this would be a right skewed distribution. Because again, if we rotated this counterclockwise, the tail would be on the right side. So this is right skewed distribution because the tail's on the right side. Again, if we rotated that counterclockwise. And not that that's really important, but here, this person probably lives out in the country somewhere. This is definitely an outlier, and we're going to discuss how we define outliers when we get to the end of this material in Chapter 2, and more specifically 2.6. We'll have a better way to well define that. So But for here, you could tell that values stick out by themselves are considered the outlier, and perhaps it suggests here a right skewed distribution. So maybe for this town here, community, you have a bunch of people that live relatively in this group here from the supermarket, but then you've got some people live outside the city there. They have to travel a little bit farther. And again here, got to keep those gaps. If we didn't have those numbers there and we just shoved up the 12.3, it would turn that from a right skew distribution where it should be into a bell-shaped curve, and we wouldn't want to do that. That wouldn't be the proper representation. So make sure you have that gap here when needed, because it displays the value in the data. All right, so that will conclude here for section 2.3 on stem plots.